la ràdio catalana de la cultura i l'esport.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome back, everyone. Hi. Yes, I'm not high. I've been crying. I'm just kidding. Welcome back, everybody, and happy Tuesday. If it's a few minutes past 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, you know what time it is. Oh, yeah. Happy 4th of July from my USAers. And if you can't see, I'm wearing red, white, and blue.
Couldn't we get a hip thrust
Oh,
there?
yes, I'm going to get that. I'm 50 years old. Does anybody remember that? No. Well, if you don't, welcome back, everybody. It's so good to see you, everybody, or to have you here at the Club with Lucas, but I'm not alone. Obviously, you hear little voices going on because I've got two beautiful people sitting here with me, and I'm going to mess up this. I've got Sir James McCauley of Playful Growth BC, and over here, I'm going to just call you Lady Shadia, but it's Shadia.
Give it a try, baby.
I'm going to try it. Shadia Karawinami.
Yeah, Karawinami.
Karawinami.
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about that too, my love, where that
babe.
comes from in just a little bit. But everybody, thank you for being here today. And I'm going to also give a mad shout out to our two sponsors as well, which is Playful Growth BC. And we got a little bit of that coming up for you with some love in a minute, as well as Tulip Art Contest. Remember, you can catch all that jams and make your submissions as well to the Tulip Art Contest by looking up Mrs. Tulip Art Gallery. We'll be right back, everybody. But we are also introducing a summer sensorial workshop that's going on this weekend in a beautiful setting. And these two lovely beings of light are here to actually give me a little bit of inspiration today because Lord mercy. And of course, we're going to get to a little bit of employments of different modalities that you guys are also going to be bringing into the mix for us. So we have a lot to share with you. Of course, we've got some news and jams that you can use as well. Remember, you can follow your man at the Club with Lucas on Instagram and the Club W Lucas on Twitter. Elon, get the fuck out of there. And you can also catch the jams at 106.9 FM and RCE.cat. People watch us with your peepholes as well on YouTube, also at RCE 106.9 FM. And let's get to some news and music rather first, before we get to the news, because Barbie's dropping. I don't know if anybody saw Indiana Jones last week, but it rocked the house. And Barbie's coming, you guys. And I don't care what you say, Ryan Gosling's not too old to play Ken. And anyway, Charlie XCX is throwing out the new jam that's coming out of the soundtrack, which is thebomb.com, so you can check that shit out too. But Charlie XCX has a new 2-minute jitty. Now, everybody start paying attention because it's going to start happening now. Instead of 3 or 4 minute pop songs, which we've had for years, everything's going to be between 1.5 and 2.5 minutes. This is a 1 minute and 57 single. This is crazy shit. Remember, back in the day, it was not this little. This is Charlie XCX's new single called Speed Drive. Remember, you can catch the jams live on RCE.cat at 106.9 FM.
She my best friend in the
living my life. See you looking with that side eye while you're so jealous, cause I'm one of a kind. What you think about me, I don't care. I'm a classic real default chair. The girls you need to know, well, they already know they're over there. Oh, baby, you're so fine, you got my mind. Jump into the driver's seat and put it into speed dial. Riding through the streets on a different frequency. No, you know just what I mean, we're running through the red light. Oh, baby, you're so fine, you got my mind. Jump into the driver's seat and put it into speed dial. Riding through the streets on a different frequency. No, you know just what I mean, we're running through the red light. Red lights, red lights, red lights, red lights, yeah. Red lights, red lights, red lights, red lights, yeah. Red lights, red lights, red lights, red lights, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Lucas. We all need to reduce our stress, enhance our creative sides, and get back to cultivating some joy in our worlds. Playful Growth BCN is here to help you, applying science-backed protocols and multisensorial techniques with elite coaching and expressive arts. They work with you to improve your physical and mental well-being and create sustainable conditions for a more playful life. Their evidence-based approach ensures effectiveness, while expert coaching provides personalized guidance and support, encourages self-expression and discovery with guided workshops and one-to-one coaching sessions. So come on, do yourself a favor today and get clued up at Playful Growth, where science and soul meet play for a happier, healthier you. Follow them on social media at Playful Growth BCN and playfulgrowth.com. That's right, folks. PlayfulGrowthBCN.com. You can get all of that information as well, Playful Growth BCN as well, on Instagram and everywhere where you can find Playful Growth BCN. Because that's what, if you put it in at Google tab, that's what's going to come up, my loves. Now let's talk, because it's the 4th of July. Fun. And in my country where I was born, people are taking the day off and barbecuing and all that good stuff, which I think you were going to do the other day as well, sir. But let's take a reality check, because you know your homeboy's here. So I'm here to give you that reality check, because obviously this is the day where people celebrate the fact that the Declaration of Independence was affirmed. It's actually written and all drafted and everything on the 2nd of July, but whatever, who's counting? I am. But let's be real, because the only people that actually granted rights to in July 4th, 1776 were white landowning men. Okay, so that was where they were free. Now, Juneteenth, which was actually June 19th, 1865, was when black men were free and could do whatever, own land and vote. For a while. But then it wasn't until August 18th, 1920 that also was incurred for women to also have the right to vote. So when we talk about independence, I mean, it obviously came in little trocitos, as we say here. But it wasn't until 1965, when the Voting Rights Act was passed in the United States, that everybody was able to finally have a semblance of rights. Well, let's talk about something else that happened. A year ago, last week, the Dobbs ruling came down. Welcome to the news segment, everybody. The Dobbs ruling came down, and that annihilated, basically, in many states, specifically 15 states and 30 that have drafted different changes in their policy, for women to have declaration of abortion over their bodies and choosing the right over their bodies. So that was done away with by the U.S. Supreme Court. Over the past week, on Friday, in fact, the U.S. Supreme Court stopped affirmative action, halted by Grandpa Joe's forgiveness loan program, and the gay Colorado ruling drama, which I have to talk to you guys about this, because basically now, and it's not basically, the Supreme Court has mandated that you can discriminate against homosexuals, lesbians, and trans and not offer them service in the United States of America now. This is, of course, going to go down to the states, so the states can do this. But all of this was done without a real case. So this woman, a Christian graphic artist from Colorado, she decided that she wants to make wedding websites, but not for gay couples. She doesn't even have a company yet. Okay, this is all theoretical. And she posed the question of what if somebody comes to me and is a homosexual and wants me to make them a website for their wedding or what have you. The law says I have to do it, but I don't want to do it. And the law doesn't say you always have the right to, but this is now giving them specific rights to refuse any of that type of service to homosexuals or anyone in the LGBTQ community. And it happened on the last day of Pride. Just, because I'm paying attention. Now, she came up with this man named, a lawsuit that she requested, that she formed from a man named Stewart and his husband-to-be. The twist, this man Stewart has been contacted, and he says it's never happened. In fact, not only is he straight, but he's been married to a woman for 15 years, and he also designs his own website. So he's like, why would I even call a woman who doesn't even have a company to design a website? They took it to the Supreme Court of the United States, who never takes cases like that. They took this case all based on hearsay and a freaking lie, and they passed it, and they now have the right. Within the hour of this coming down, people in certain parts of the country started putting up signs outside in their restaurants and establishments saying, I don't cater to homosexuals, and the Supreme Court says I don't have to. So when we talk about Independence Day, which is what today is going on, let's talk about all of the rights of 40, 50, 60 years that are being taken away. Over in Israel, the attacks on refugee camps in Jenin is not only against human rights, which has been going on all weekend, but also they are annihilating people left and right. The whole world is watching. They remain in defiance, and Netanyahu, you can go kindly F yourself, however. But two pro-state solutions, it has to be this way. There can only be a two-state solution. And in the meantime, Netanyahu's government is allowing people to continue to do this in refugee camps in Palestine. Over here in our neck of the woods, the brouhaha continues. It's decided that Mayor Koiboni, another homosexual, will allow the continuation of all of the bike lanes and scooter lanes to be continued because basically he has no choice. I mean, all of the work's been going on for a year and a half, so you can't stop it now. You can't stop progress, children. You just can't. So that will be going on as well. And, of course, he's doing this all at the behest of his left-hand woman and ex-mayor, Ada Colau. In all honesty, at this point, there was no choice. So this is why they're going to continue over in the general elections, which are now very close to happening in Spain. I hope you guys are ready. It is now just 20 days away until we will have the results of that. But the Popular Party's Feixó has claimed that he will audit public accounts and European fund accounts more strictly and reduce the IRPF. What is the IRPF? It's the income tax. That's what he's saying he's going to do. Now, obviously, that's going to be a lock on some people to say, oh, my God, he's going to do this for me. On the other side of the aisle, Sanchez is making the rounds like he's, well, not Madonna. Get better soon, girl. But he's making the rounds everywhere that he can in every particular community, private autonomous community of the country, and on every public channel station that he can as well. Don't fret, however, the percentage scams right now is all very neck and neck. In fact, if we look at this, basically, Feixó has a slight lead in the general elections, but in the escanos, it looks like the socialists have a slight lead. So it's almost like they are balanced, and they are within the range of basically having a tie. Now, here's the only thing that I want to say. Remember, you can vote for the first time in Spain. You can also vote out of state, out of country, by mail. So all of that is doable. You need to go into the websites for the government, and you can just download that information and have it mailed off. So please do that. You have 3 weeks to do that. Remember, if you're a citizen, you also need to remember that voting is important, but please remember that you're also allowing, if you vote a certain way, for certain fascist mindsets to come in. Specifically, I just want to say that Vox, folks, and this is not a joke, I have to. Vox has come out to say that they don't believe in climate change and that the defense for violence by the machos is a joke, and it's not true. So remember, when you're voting for certain people, you're voting for that to take over. Because you know what? All this is actually happening. Now let's get to some music because it's fun. The original cast, in fact, the first host of music for Stephen Colbert, my favorite late night show host, is Jon Batiste. And Jon Batiste is a wonderful Grammy-winning artist who has just dropped a new track, also 2 minutes long over the weekend. So remember, singles for everybody, but only for 2 minutes. And this one is called Calling Your Name. This is Jon Batiste. Remember, you can catch the Gems live on 106.9 FM, all over Catalonia and RCE.cat. And we'll be right back with Sir James and Lady Shadia.
Sun and the stars, night and the day. All of the while I was calling your name. I would get so lost in my feelings, head in the clouds. I would get so caught up in believing something about, but you feel so good in my spirit. It's all over me now. No, can't go back no more. Put the feeling down. Sun and the stars, night and the day. All of the while I was calling your name, calling your name, calling your name, calling your name, calling your name. Sun and the stars, night and the day. All of the while I was calling your name. Sun and the stars, running from fate. All of the while I was calling your name. Sun and the stars, night and the day. All of the while I was calling your name. Sun and the stars, running from fate. All of the while I was calling your name.
See, that's the beauty of 2-minute singles, guys.
Wow.
That right there was John Batiste and Calling Your Name. All right. Lady Shadia, Sir James of Playful Growth BC, and thank you so much for being here and throwing me back into the vortex. Sorry for the political drama, but we are here to talk about something else, spiritual drama. And then we're going to do a mad shout out to somebody that I really, really love at Tulip Art Contest and Sarcatalis over there, but we'll do that in just a bit. Folks, thank you so again for being here. What are we here for? Let's talk about sensorial, because when we do, what are we even talking about? Some people got, because I mentioned that with my teaching sometimes, multisensorial. What are we talking about, please?
Thank you for having us,
thank
Luca.
you.
Super happy to be here. Super excited to be live and share a bit more about our amazing workshop. Like this multisensorial experience is just like activating our senses. It's like we're so dormant and so automatizing so many things in our lives that James and I want to make a powerful invitation to just like wake up and feel, right?
Why
So-
do you think we're there? Out of curiosity.
Oh my
Why do
God.
you think?
Me?
Why do you think we're where? Why we're not connected?
Automatized, disconnected.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because like we have so many different things to be doing, things to be sorting out, constant stimuli from these little things, right?
Little devil.
Yeah, like everything is like you were saying, like 2-minute singles. Like we are consuming content like milliseconds. So we are having an overload in our senses, right? So that takes us to the other extreme, which is like, I need to shut down to survive. Because if not, it's too much to handle. It's too much to deal with. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Like we were speaking off air, to connect with our feelings, to really be like, oh, what's going on inside of me? We've been taught to prioritize everybody else's needs before our own. So I feel that disconnection comes really, and maybe this is controversial, but like it's what I feel.
Let's see.
Like just like since the moment we're born and the doctor comes and boom, cuts that umbilical cord from our mom. Like that's our first massive disconnection. And then throughout our lives, people like us who are really interested in like exploring a bit more and diving deeper into what's going on. Okay, like we are taking little puzzle pieces, but most of the people go through life completely disconnected. So
Yeah, and I think the idea of the workshop is about connection and connecting with other people through your senses, connecting with yourself, and also bearing witness to other people connecting with that, right? And there's a sort of an irony in that, in the sense that, like, in order to connect with people and to connect with yourself, you actually have to disconnect, you know. But any deep connection is preempted by a disconnection, you know. And sometimes you need people to facilitate that disconnection. It's like, hey, now slowly, okay, now we're coming da 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 da, and now we can connect again in a more interesting and meaningful way.
Amen.
And when I met Saja, like 2 weeks ago, so it's like not long ago.
It feels like 20 lifetimes.
Feels
though.
20 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Like okay,
Probably is.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure.
very probably
Yeah.
something's going on. And when I met Chad, I was like, oh wow, because we have a very good connection from
Yeah.
the get go, you know. And I think I was talking to someone yesterday about like the most powerful thing that you can give to somebody is a safe space in many ways, right? And in order to be able to give a safe space, you know, that's about creating connections and creating the energy that you need to do that. I mean, we're going to do lots of interesting things during the workshop, techniques and practices and things like that. But the basis of that is also the sense of connection we have with each other and our ability to facilitate space for other people.
What are some of those modalities that you can use?
Well, so we were talking before about like Chad just mentioned like phones, right? And we're overwhelmed. So I come at it more, I think maybe more than Chad, from just the nervous system. And so a lot of the things that I do are more physiological and at a certain level. So the deep breathing, the ice bath, the saunas, like it's just like it feels like you're scraping off a layer of dead skin when you go through that, and it's basically a warm bath. It's like a warm bath for your nervous system, you know. It's like, hey, and you go, I didn't realize I felt so bad until now I feel so good, and now I realize that I was actually feeling kind of shitty. Excuse my language.
No, not at all. You know me.
No, I do know you.
At what age or what point in your life did you have to make the conscious decision, okay, this ish has got to change? What was it? Was there something more specific? And both of you had please, madam.
Yeah. So I feel that it's like a conscious, constant decision. It's not just like an isolated event that happened. I was like, oh my God, my life has changed and now I need to like really get going to it. But of course, when I feel you go through different experiences like hardship or heartbreak or grief, like these big experiences that can no longer be sustained in your like existence because they're very painful or they really take you to a place where you're wondering like what's the sense of this all, then that's what happens to you. I've always been like a seeker. I've always been like super curious to learn a bunch of different things, and most of the things, like, I love it because I always tell my community that I never recommend anything that I haven't tried myself. So whatever it is that you can talk of, like, I probably have tried it, experienced it. So just from a really young age, I came from a mixed household as well, like Lebanese, Muslim father, Colombian Catholic mother. Like, I was taught from like a very young age that it's super important to have tolerance and to be able to like look at life with a curious perspective. I couldn't believe, like, for example, half of my family, because they were a different religion, they would go to hell or this kind of thing. So that didn't sit well with me. So I was constantly seeking, but I also come from a very overprotective background. Yeah, so I had like a lot of my intuitive gifts and senses like be very like, you need to tone them down a little bit. I'm intense, I'm really passionate, and I'm emotional. So all of these things had to be a little bit like take it a notch down in a way. And in the same time, I was always encouraged to go after my dreams. So like, I cannot pinpoint an exact moment when it all happened, but it's all like the combination of contrast like in my life that has me always like, what's next? What's coming up? Like, this is so interesting. Like, there has to be more than this. So I don't know if that's the answer you were aiming for, but that's
perfect for me. And I wonder if that's, you know, that the semblance of that truth is what kind of drew you guys together, because Playful Growth BCN, and shout out to one of our sponsors, has been, I mean, this is also something that you've been creating for a while, but it's just coming to fruition now. And then you two in the last month have happened with this. What is a main philosophy behind Playful Growth BCN? And then we'll get to a little more of that, the sensorial workshop, please.
Okay, so I'd say the main philosophy is that in order for self-development and self-growth to be sustainable, there has to be an element of creativity, joy, and connection in it. You know, you can go and develop yourself on this solo battle journey for so long where I'm doing some push-ups, I'm doing my breathing, I'm doing my monk Zen retreat type style. And that's great and might work for some people. But for the majority of people that live in the world, in order for me to continue down this path, I have to sometimes feel a sense of connection and joy with the people I'm doing it with. And this is a big change for me, because I was very much the Zen, not Zen, but the ninja doing my push-ups. And I had this realization over the last couple of years that in order for it to be to be meaningful, I have to do it with people and share it with people.
And be playful about it.
Well, I've got. I mean, that's never a problem.
That's a given, right?
I just have to tone down the playfulness a little bit, basically,
It's funny because it's true.
because it's true.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of debt payment right now, and then we're going to jump into a song. The Tulip International Art Contest, Children of the Corn. Let's talk about this, where any modality of art is celebrated except artificial intelligence. Now, the Tulip Art Contest 2023 was an international competition for artists open to anyone from all over the world. And let me tell you, they had submissions literally from Eskimos. No, I'm kidding. Or am I? And 8 amazing winners were here, were chosen, and won a beautiful amount of prizes. You can also catch some of this artwork as well at Carrer Ausias Marc, number 14, at the Mrs. Tulip Art Gallery. The artists have and are preparing for 2024, and you will have the opportunity as well to win several cash prizes and have your works exhibited at said Mrs. Tulip Art Gallery here in the beautiful Barcelona Eixample Barrio. Our independent jury recently announced the selection of 30 finalists, and you, my loves, can be ready for the 2024 submissions as well. In fact, those submissions are open right now until October. So, folks, look up Mrs. Tulip International Art Contest, another one of our proud sponsors. We're going to throw in a little bit of music right now, and I know I played this 2 or 3 weeks ago, but in my opinion, this is the adult sleeper jam of the summer. Who is it by? It's by Miss Debbie Gibson. Do you remember Debbie Gibson?
There's no way she's gonna remember. I mean, I just look at him blankly when he says it.
And believe me, all our
What?
trash goes
Whoa,
everywhere.
whoa,
Your
whoa!
trash goes.
All
Yeah.
U.S. American trash goes everywhere. You can't stop it. Look at Britney Spears. Hello. So
Take that
I had
back.
to say it.
Yeah, it's like no, poor
Poor
Britney.
Britney.
Poor Britney. Are you gonna get Chris Colfer on me and start crying? Leave Britney alone.
Don't know who Chris and who he is. I don't know who any of these
neither,
people
like-
are.
Children of the Corn, you remember. Folks, this is Lady Debbie Gibson with My Summer Sleeper Jam. Love, don't care. This one's actually a little bit longer than 2 minutes long, and we'll be right back with Lady Shetty and Sir James, Playful Growth BCN.
It's 2 a.m., she's alone, head on the pillow, the phone next to her. Will he text her? No. She knows he already knows. She put her heart on that post, just hoping he would notice. You know it's out of your control. Take it from me, girl, I know love don't care if you're ready. Love don't care, I'll sing about time. Love don't care if you're stronger or steady. Don't give a damn. ripped apart. It's 2 a.m., she's alone, head on the pillow, the phone next to her. Will he text her? No.
Sorry.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And that was Lady Debbie Gibson. And I just want to give a mad shout out because Lady Shadia has also blessed me with one of her publications as well called Creer. And it's one of those beautiful things where you can just think of a number or time, go to it, read the page, and let it inspire you. So we can also get this at your website as well, correct?
Yeah, they can get in touch with
You
me.
can get in touch with Lady Shadia,
Yeah.
as her many scores of thousands of followers have on Instagram. And she's gracing you with her presence.
You
Oh,
lucky
my
devils.
God.
You lucky devils.
Thank you, my love. In serio. Now,
Thank you, babe.
I want to talk about the energy tapping because you know, it's also employed, I know, right? It's also employed in certain aspects of modern psychological treatment, you know, like EMDR and whatnot. So I want to talk about what the energy tapping for the body does because I'm freaking curious about that. Whoever wants to go, please.
I'll go. I'll start because I think that they come from. So Shadia and I have similar tendencies, but different, let's say, lenses or the way we approach it. And so, at least in hypnosis or NLP, the idea is that you're shifting from different states, which is different the way Shadia will probably explain to you. But you might be in a mental state or a visual state or an auditory state, and by tapping, you return yourself to your body. Essentially, is one way of looking at it. You change from this like over mental state that you draw yourself back into your body, and the kinesthetic state, according to NLP, is also an emotional state. So your body and your emotions are in a similar realm within NLP, and what you're doing is connecting yourself back to that moment through different types of tapping.
Where does the tapping go?
Where does the tapping
where
go?
is the tapping?
Shad, you want to show us your favorite tap? For example, there's various types of tapping, right? But you can tap here, da 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 da, and then I do this where I go, peace. And this is used, for example, in addiction treatment, where it's essentially a way of reducing stress. So if I have a client who comes in and asks me that they're feeling stressed or nervous, I might ask them for SUDS, which is the subjective unit of stress. I'm an 8, I'm super stressed. And I go, okay, let's just do this. Let's do some simple tapping, 2, 2, 2, peace. And then you go, how about now? And they're like, I am a lot less stressed than I was. That's amazing.
But for many of us skeptics and X-Files watchers, we might wonder, what? How does that work?
Okay, can I jump in here?
I love you jumping in there.
Yeah. So we are energy, and this is not anything that's woo-woo out there. It's just physics, right? And energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's only transformed, right? So we have energetic meridians in our body, right? These tool has been used with veterans of war, post-traumatic stress. Nowadays, it is backed by scientific research as well. So for all of the rational people, Capricorns and Virgos out there, wink. Yeah. So it's really fascinating. And I always invite people to not believe anything that we're saying. Just go experience it for yourself. It's really magical. It's an emotional freedom technique, right? So like James was mentioning, we use it in different ways, but the end result is the same. It's like regulating your nervous system, lowering cortisol levels, like connecting like at an even deeper level with what must be causing that distress. And I also, of course, use it to manifest different things, to really call in like the things that I want to like really anchor into my life. We were talking about affirmations before, like look at yourself in the mirror, do the affirmations while you tap, and it's amazing. So there's certain meridians in the body where it's proven like you just give like a little like tap, like the name says, and that makes like or throws a signal to the body to just like go and send the energy back into rotation, right? It's like if modern psychology and traditional Chinese medicine had a little baby that's tapping, right? Because it's like a little bit of acupuncture without the needles, but it's just with the fingers. And then each of the points is for different things where you can liberate or transform. anger or pain, and it's freaking powerful.
Where do you learn the meridians?
Okay, so nowadays, baby, on Google, go for Google.
Okay.
Like you can find it everywhere. I'm not sure if you do like a different approach, but I always tell my people like I'm not here to teach you theory, because nowadays like you can just like go to AI and be like, give me a list of the meridian points of tapping and what they're good for. That's it. So the real magic, and I feel that's what both James and I bring to the table, is like we hold your hand and we take you through it, right? And we share with you based on our experience things that are proven to work. Okay. So the information is out there. Go try it out. I'm gonna like, because you're all English speakers, right? Go find Brad Yates. I love this man. Brad Yates. He's on YouTube. He has like so many videos on tapping. I love that man. Like when I started my journey, I'm self-taught, right? Like, so I started like, I needed to like heal. I told you, seeker. So I found this man and he freaking changed my life. And I started doing his tapping videos and everything. And it's transformative. And nowadays I've had the gift of him being able to facilitate like a live session for me, and it's like fucking mind blowing. So go try it out. And
he is the best-selling co-author of Freedom at Your Fingertips,
yeah,
and a graduate of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College.
Yeah, he's such a character. He's amazing.
That is bad bloody ass.
Yeah,
okay,
I love him, and
All
go
right.
do his videos. Like
Funny.
yeah.
We shall. What the hell? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now, these methods and approach, you said that they are time-tested and they are proven. So you've also, I'm going to presume, with your own selves, have time-tested and proven them for yourselves to see how they are coming together. I mean, you had to manifest playful growth out of nowhere and nothing. So you're doing this, you know, obviously. When you're getting into your vortex, and yes, I'm talking Abraham Hicks now, but when you're getting into your vortex and you have a lot of blockage, is there anything, teach me right now,
Yeah. We've got you, baby. We've got
yeah, is there anything that you can share to the good people out there and me about countering that, going around that, stopping that?
you. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you want me to?
You go, yeah. I'll go after that. for
Okay.
sure. I already gave him my favorite one.
Yeah. So for me, it's like a tapping. And then if you don't want to go through all the points because you don't know, and then your mind gets in the way, literally like just take this one. It's called a karate chop, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't matter which hand you go at it. Gently. I don't want you like banging at it or anything. Just gently. And if you're like overwhelmed with emotion, you just breathe it through. And if you can say something, be like, I'm so heartbroken. I'm so sad. I can't believe this sadness is still here. I'm feeling so frustrated. And you keep going and just let it come out. And then the tears come out and then the anger comes out or whatever comes out. And then if you can verbalize what you're feeling, you go for it, right? Like you go for it and then you breathe it through, stay a couple minutes there. It will be a big release. It will be a big release. So try it out, baby boy.
Yeah, I think your little man Lucas is going to be trying that out as well. Sir, what about you? What would you, when you have a blockage? What do
When
how
I
do
have a
you-
blockage, when I have a blockage, I normally
You drink coffee.
That's not far from the fact. But I think two things. One is that, in a sense, one of the things about tapping is there's a ritual element to it, you know? And I think it's important that in our lives we have rituals. And for it to be a ritual, it has to be something that you do regularly, has a certain set of steps, has a process. Almost any process that you use that has some basis, whether it's breathing, tapping, some sort of visualization, as long as you use that regularly and it becomes this tool that you know you have, that in itself creates a sense of relief. It's like I have an ice bath on my terrace. Not only does the ice bath make me feel good when I use the ice bath, but knowing I have a fucking ice bath is relaxing for me. Because I know, like, if it gets real bad, bro, you just get in that ice bath. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to hold out for another while, you know? So I just think it's good for people to explore different techniques, whatever it is, then find one that works. There's thousands. Find one that, with people that you connect with, explore those techniques with them, try it out, and then stick with one and let one or two and let those be your tools that you have. And you go, I'm panicking, whatever your thing is, use it.
Yeah. Can I say something in connection with what James said? I love that you mentioned the peace that it gives you, just knowing that you have that, right? Like I usually tell my clients that we all should have an emergency kit. what's an emergency kit? It's something you create for yourself when you're in a great fucking mood. When you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm the queen or king of the world. And then you choose your favorite songs. You know, you've got like your ice bath there. You sign up for the gym, whatever. You have a couple of tapping videos in store. You have like Bach flowers or whatever it is. Like, if you have like 1,000 different tools that you love, just put them in that emergency kit. And then when you're feeling like shit, it will be easier to go straight to your emergency and choose, because when you're in a panic mode, you're in survival mode. So there won't be room for you to be like, oh, it's so beautiful, I'm going to go into the ice, or I'm going to be tapping, right?
Sure, I'd actually like to come back on that point. It's very important. The emergency kit, the idea is, so for example, with the ice bath, sauna, and breathing thing, what you're doing is you're anchoring states that as soon as you feel great after you do the breathing, then you feel great after you do the sauna, then you feel great after you do the ice bath and the visualization, and you're anchoring these states that as soon as you go back into that process, all those good feelings you're talking about come back because you have all these associations. And you're like, okay, and the same with your emergency kit, whatever it is, you store up your good vibes in that thing, you put it wherever it is, and then as soon as you go to access it, your state changes because you've associated all these, sorry, I moved away. You've associated all these good vibes with that, you know? And I think a lot of people don't have, well, a lot of people with, for example, breathing, you know, there's a lot more focus on breathing. Breathing is fucking saving people's lives because they know they can do a breathing technique, you know? That alone is like, thank God I found breathing, or whatever it is, but breathing in particular is one that most people can access.
Man.
Thank God for that shit,
Honestly,
you know?
And you don't have to stop it. It's one of those things that you can employ consistently.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I promise you, we're going to be doing more in the future
Yeah.
together. But Brad Yates, I'm all over you like a bag of chips. Speaking of
Like
stopping,
a bag of chips.
Unstoppable. Shadia, you chose this one by Sia. And I
Yeah.
mean, there are very few people. Folks, if you don't know the trajectory of Sia's career, because Sister's over 50 now. And she started with a beautiful band I want to recommend called 07 about 25 years ago. They were England's version of Air from France. Wonderful stuff. But you chose this stuff, and I love the lyrics of this song. Yes, you've all heard it in the commercial. Why did you choose this song?
Because I feel it's a song that always uplifts me, that helps me like connect with my fierce lioness goddess energy. So I
Amen.
fucking love it.
So everybody go connect with your fierce lion energy, tiger energy, whatever. None of you are tiger mom, though. And this is Lady Sia's Unstoppable. We'll be right back in 3.5 minutes to talk about the fundamentals of this weekend's sensorial workshop.
I'll smile, I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down and all through the night time. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah. I put my arm around so you are how strong I am. I put my arm around and show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Break down, only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding now, hiding out deep down. Yeah. I know, I've heard that to let your feelings show is the only way to make friendships grow, but I'm too afraid now. Yeah. I put my arm around so you are how strong I am. I put my arm around and show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today.
we are unstoppable today, and guys, you can get unstoppable as well this weekend. You can get unstuck at the Playful Growth BCN Sensorial Workshop with Lady Shadia and Sir James. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the specifics that you'll be doing. Like, what can people expect when they get there? For example.
So, I'll start. So,
Go ahead, babes.
obviously, almost everything that I do at Playful Growth does involves breathing, saunas, and ice baths because that's just like a little massage for your nervous system. But
I love that.
Yeah, it feels like that's what it
Yeah,
feels like.
it's really
It's-
good. I tried it.
Massage for your nerves.
it is a massage for the nervous system. So the idea is with this workshop, we have kind of similar overlapping specialities, but they express themselves in different ways. I come at it from a more hypnotic language, NLP type of approach. And so to start out, we'll be doing a guided, what Shaja might call a guided visualization, what I would call hypnosis using hypnotic language, where we're guiding people into a relaxed state, allowing their unconscious mind to relax and opening up to the possibility of connecting with somebody. And from there, Shaja will take over.
And then I'll guide them through a connection exercise with others through their senses as well. Just looking in the eyes, holding hands. Like, it's really magical because each group is unique as well. And the energy that's just there, it's delicious.
And hence the multisensorial.
Yes.
Yeah, so the multisensorial is that exploration of your different senses. So there'll be the sound, there'll be smells, there'll be food, there'll be all that experience, and then just the shared physiological experience of going through these, because it is a journey. As you go through these breathing, you're not the same person if you've done these deep
Yeah.
breathing, transformative breathing things. You're not the same person after you come out of the sauna at 100 degrees or go into the ice bath, you know. And sharing that with people is really,
Yeah,
it's like, how do you feel? I feel great. And supporting the other people on those journeys, while also taking it on an emotional and, let's say, unconscious or subconscious level.
Yeah.
That's being managed by two experts at the same time.
Why did you want to be doing this? Not just the sensorial workshop, but in your lives. What was it that, I mean, we talked about your first manifestation, like when you realized, but why do you continue doing this?
What I like.
Yes,
this
ma'am. What
another-
you're doing specifically for this type of
it's my
energy work.
it's my mission, babe.
Okay.
I've been around for many lifetimes, and I say that this is the first time that I'm not being killed for being a full-on witch.
Yeah.
So I'm honoring
I love
that,
that.
and
Yeah.
I came here to show people that there's a different way. I'm bringing people back to remembrance. So
Okay.
it's unavoidable. It's my mission.
You mean it's like a soul to soul 1990 jam back to life, back to
Oh
reality?
my God! Yes.
Okay, and so when we talk about this, we've talked about some of the things that we're going to be experiencing this weekend. Again, you can get all that information at Playful Growth BCN, so please look that up. Contact them directly as well, Lady Shada. In fact, we'll have all of this all over YouTube
Yeah.
and everything open for the week. We'll be throwing this on our Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff, and Elon Musk's Twitter. But I do want to talk out of curiosity. How does your holistic and integrative approach between what you do? How does it come from meditation to the ice baths to the NLP? I mean, everything that you guys that you do, mostly you, but that you incorporate as well with spirituality.
Yeah.
How does it help you in your lives?
You want to go ahead?
Sure, man. This being here without all this stuff would be somewhere else in a much worse condition. You know,
Without
It's
it. This-
without it, for
okay.
sure. You know, I mean, I think almost anybody who's in this position, or where you're guiding people or helping people with techniques or any of these kind of things, they didn't come across it like, I've always felt great. All my life just felt amazing, and decide I don't need these things, but I'm just going to teach them to other people. No, it becomes like everyone has a crash or some burn, and they go, I need to find tools. I need to figure out who I am. I need to find tools to help me deal with this. And once you find those tools, you play around with them, and you're like, wow, this shit is really useful and powerful. This could help other people. And there's nothing much. So you were talking before about you were brought on this earth to you're a witch that would have been killed if you'd been 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing more powerful than facilitating or leading people through a technique or a mindset in the right energy and watching them work hard at it and then get the results. And you watch, like when I do the deep breathing routines, that's really, like, I still get emotional when I think about that, because I see these people working to improve themselves in a group, and afterwards you can see this feeling of joy and relief almost on their faces, that there is this piece available to them and they have a tool that can do that. That shit's addictive as fuck, let's be honest. You know, it is. It's like, wow, and you're there, thank you, and you're like, no, thank you, because this gives meaning to my other, you know.
Absolutely.
Life can easily feel meaningless. You know, and there's this saying about how do you find meaning? It's hard, but if you're where you want to be, doing what what you want to do with the people you want to do it with, your life is going to be meaningful. It doesn't matter. You don't have to intellectually look for it. It's going to feel meaningful.
And hopefully playful too.
Yeah.
Lady Shadia, can you give us some closing words? We're going to start wrapping up here, but about these techniques and everything that you tell us a little bit about where people can contact you for the workshop this week in this sensorial workshop, please.
It's good that Lucas is going to have it written because my name is Shadia Karawi Name.
Exactly.
I'll be on the top of your list if you search for me, but if you search with the right letters.
And so honestly, if I may interrupt, please,
Yeah.
Shadia, Shadya, and K. The minute you put the K in,
I pop up.
bam. In fact, after Shada, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Shad.
yeah.
I get you on the
But the
Shad.
Shadia K brings it up because it is an interesting combination of the names, but
Yeah.
you can't miss, or believe me, it comes right up.
Yeah, you will
Please,
see
madam,
me
forgive
there.
me.
You will see me there. And I
For this
invite,
weekend.
yeah, everyone to just like come and join us. Well, not actually everyone, because it's a really intimate group that I feel that's something that we haven't mentioned yet. The connection when you do it with a gazillion billion people, it's amazing as well. But there's magic in small groups as well, because you really get to go deep and see other people and their journey and cheer on them. So it's gonna be like a really life-changing experience, I feel, also because no one is offering this. Like, just like I feel like we are two like super stars coming together to offer this thing. Like, I really feel like
Love
that James and I, we have like an amazing energy. And we have an
You do.
amazing
Thank you guys for
energy.
being here.
Thank you for
Seriously.
inviting us.
Seriously.
That we have an amazing energy together and that we truly believe in what we do. So we're passionate about helping people, supporting people. So come join us, babies.
And very passionate about I'm super passionate about small tailored classes. You know, like, please, people, do the small classes with small group sizes and teacher ratios, because you get way more out of it in the small classes.
Just as
you
you
do.
would any educational thing. This is
Anything,
exactly
but
what
an
you're educating your
experiential-
soul and your spirit.
But I'm gonna jump there because I'm a woman for the masses, babies. So I feel both things are needed and necessary.
Sure, but
right?
the thing is, the masses is there.
Yeah.
You know, that's available. There are, you go to giant yoga class, you go to these things. There's
Yeah.
less of these. I agree, there's balance,
yeah.
and there's just
There's-
a lot less of these
Those
intimate,
customized,
small,
tailored-
customized, where
Yes.
you're getting a lot of attention over a relatively condensed amount of time. You know, I think that's very important.
And sensorial is one of its kind. No one else is doing
And
this.
seriously, honestly, folks, this weekend is the only place you're going to be experiencing that sensorial. So please get a hold of Lady Shadia Karawi Name.
Yes.
And Playful Growth BCN as well. You can get all that information. And of course, here at RCE in the club, we'll be putting this all week long. I want to thank you again, guys, so much for being here today. Again, Playful Growth BCN, you can get all that information as well. So please look that up. Thank you, and shout out again to our sponsors, Playful Growth BCN and Tulip Art Contest. Folks, we're going to shout out with that. Now, next week, we will have the brilliant minds and some of the cast behind the next English theater production here in BCN. That's going to be at the end of the month at Teatro Raval. And that is actually the cast and crew of Almost Catalonia. Joining us live, lit, and loud here on the club. Remember, you can catch the jams as you always do everywhere where every good place with my name is streamed. And shout out again to you two. And one more thing. Yes. No, I think we're done. All right, folks. So I'll see you next week at 11 o'clock here with the beautiful people of Almost Catalonia. Again, thank you, Lady Shadia and Sir James. And everybody, we're leaving you with a little bit of Everything But the Girl and a remix of their new single, Caution to the Wind. We love you. See you on the flip side.
Boom.
All the stars align, shimmer and shine. I've waited all my life for such a night.